Peter Obi is not among candidates who has something to offer in 2023 election. Waziri Adamu, a former minister and PDP member, Waziri Adamu, has revealed what he thinks about the candidature of Peter Obi in the forthcoming election. In 2023, according to Waziri Adamu, Peter Obi has nothing to offer in the coming election, and as such, he doesn't add him nor his party when looking at permutations for the coming election. Waziri Adamu stated this during his time with Channels TV. According to him, Peter Obi is an effervescence. He went on to disclose what he meant by Peter Obi being an effervescence. According to Waziri Adamu, Peter Obi's presidential campaign can be described as a wind that is coming up for a brief period of time and is going to die down in no instant time. It's safe to say that Peter Obi's campaign and candidature is applying pressure and applying heat, because how can you be so pressed? Like, it's a different thing, it's Nigerian politics, right? It's okay, it's fine for politicians to be, you support your political parties, you support this party. So in our childish behavior, you'd literally start insulting or throwing certain words at other parties. Fine. But it seems like it's Peter Obi versus every other political party. Like, what is the problem? Why are you so pressed? If anything, leave him to do his stuff. Encourage and push for your own political party. It's a competition at the end of the day. You're competing against each other. So it's fine for you not to be on the same page. It is okay. It's fine. It's fine. We get it. It's okay. But it's like these, for example, Waziri Adamu, even people that are activists that we thought were on the side of the youth, it's like it itches so much. It's like they're so restless. They can't just grasp or establish or understand the idea that Peter Obi is gaining this much support and there is nothing they can do about it. It's even a thing where, as much as they're drilling Peter Obi, even his supporters are being drilled as well, because the supporters are even helping Peter Obi fight against those that are speaking against him, because Peter Obi cannot obviously be a presidential candidate. There's a behavior that's expected. I mean, he's not going to come here start throwing words, and he has to be careful, because it's like you're in top position and you're trying to keep up that position. So whatever you do, you have to be careful so as not to ruin and give your opponents the chance to accuse you of something and use what you say against you. And that is literally why, Peter Obi supporters will be mislabeled as aggressive, because Peter Obi's supporters are literally speaking on his behalf. He's not speaking because the supporters, his supporters are literally responding to tactics for him or shade that is being thrown from other political parties. But I think it's a thing where, to be honest, they've never seen this much possibility of change. And describing the word effervescence, I mean, let's even search up that word, because saying it's like the wind, effervescence. Okay, effervescence means bubbles in a liquid phase, or again, basically, vivacity and enthusiasm. And this is also, on one hand, you can see what he's saying, and I think it goes to the point of how the Nigerian government really underestimates the citizens, and the same energy was definitely shown during NSAS protests. All of them were shaking, because as much as they were calm in the initial stages, what they're used to most times is just, especially with the Nigerian youth, what we can do is create the energy, create that energy that allows for whatever it is we want to flow. It's literally in the air. Like you can even feel it, with the energy. That's what the youth are there. That's what they're there. Because with any movement, they can harness and build that energy, where it's like you can even taste the energy. That's how strong it can be. And I think that has happened so many times. And because of one thing or the other, it never continues. And I think that cycle needs to stop. We need to not just be, ones that create energy and not go through with the energy. Because then what's the point of building that energy, or for it to just die in a few months' time, or in a month's time, or a week's time? So in that regard, because they've seen that consistently, they're intimidated and threatened, because it's a thing where if they're used to Nigerians not going through with it, and there are times where it may seem like, oh my days, they are panicking. They're all panicking because they're going to lose their jobs. Have you seen that meme? I'm panicking because they're going to lose their jobs. That's why they're panicking. And so it's a thing where, that panic would lead them to expose themselves and do something even worse. Hence the EndSARS, the Lekki massacre. Because, for a whole week, I think, protests were going on. It was very peaceful. Everyone was together. And then shootings. Does it make sense? How can you be so threatened of a movement that soldiers are sent to shoot at armless and unarmed citizens? So again, when there's a movement like this, we need to study the patterns. The government will always give themselves away as to how incompetent they are, because of how threatened they are, because they're not able to withstand the pressure, which is a good thing that the youth can generate that kind of energy. They end up embarrassing themselves and exposing themselves and their incompetence even more. So if they're tactical, they would learn from EndSARS that they need to be careful, because, I think they would be careful because, again, with the desperation of these parties wanting to get to the top, or the top parties wanted to get to the top, they don't want to ruin their chances. And again, elections are one thing that, they prepare for. If anything they prepare for is how to be in power and stay in power. Imagine in Nigeria, a president is saying they want to resign. Because again, obviously with Boris Johnson choosing to resign as prime minister, we think of these things, right? And with how desperate and, power hungry our politicians are, imagine would that even happen? Would that even be a reality where we would ever see these politicians they would choose to step down? We can't even say the full context as to how, I can't really say full context as to how Boris Johnson stepped down, but what I can say for sure is when you watch Parliament, when you watch how they argue in Parliament, you'd be surprised as well. So this whole thing of Nigerians, again, obviously getting physically violent in the way we do in our houses, it doesn't make sense. But when it comes to applying pressure from within, the British government, it happens there for sure. So again, it's very sad. What can you actually do in that regard? Like, it's so threatening. I've genuinely just not even seen. I think the last time we've seen, people even go on national television to talk, it's like they've been threatened, and it shows that we're always on the brink of achieving something, but they will do something else in a bid to curb and quench the energy that would end up exposing themselves anyway. If we follow the patterns, again, with whatever movement, it is the supporters and the energy harnessed by the supporters that will be attacked the most. The same thing with EndSARS, with the character of the people, the way they say Peter Obi supporters are aggressive, they are destroying things, they are bullies, they're this, and trying to taint their character, to taint that movement. It is the same thing they did at the EndSARS protest, where Nigerians that have been peaceful for even a whole week were then made to look like they were out here, going to rob malls. Again, if you are supporting a movement like EndSARS, there is no way you are going to create damage by going to mob stores and steal. It just doesn't make sense. So yes, the statement that Peter Obi made in his interview saying that people are being paid to speak against him,